My people, 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 good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo, Alan H.F. Palmer. I'm coming to you from the evil city of Los Angeles, California, the city of the Lost Angels, where nothing here is good, not even the people. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Now people, we have some important information to discuss this morning. We're going to talk about the issues of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Let me see if I could invite a few people to watch this live broadcast and hear what I have to say. You know I am very opinionated. I am wise in my approach to whatever I say. So it will be of benefit to you if you listen to what I have to say. Never a detriment at all. Always beneficial. So now people, if you are going to spend the next couple of minutes with me while we discuss the delay of justice in St. Vincent and the Grenadines as it relates to the Ashel Morgan drama, let us put our heads together and see what we can come up with. Because people, you know, if justice is delayed, justice is denied, right? So we don't want to deny Mr. Cornelius John of his justice in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, so we're going to talk about it today. Now people, if you're going to, as I said earlier, if you're going to spend the next couple of minutes with me, I need you to share this video. Share it on your page, share it on a friend page, share it in a group, share it in a room. And while you're at it, tag someone in it. Now people, let me see who we have here. When you let me know that you're watching and let me know where you're watching from. Right? Let me know where you're watching from. And if you share the video, let me know. Lillian says, oi! Happy Preparation Day, my friend. Nice to have you, nice to have you. What are you doing for Sabbath lunch? Oh yeah. Gwyneth Fiona says she's here but she cannot comment. I guess you are in some training or something like that, as you have said, right? Now people, we know that justice delayed is justice denied. So let us take some time and review this Ashel Morgan situation and see if there is a denial of justice that is going on in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Because, I mean, we cannot really... What? I am just taking some time to invite a few people here. I'm not going to stay long either. Now, people, I am going to give you a verse or two of the song Shit Stain. Right? Shit Stain. This is why I am inviting people to watch it. Shit Stain. Shit Stain. I'm calling the PM out of his name. Shit Stain, shit stain, shit stain, shit stain. Whatever he touch must be washed with rain. You see, and is too goddamn black, Bush will not see him. Calling people dirty name is his claim to fame. Matthew is a dirty dog, the major is a thief, a habitual sexual offender, that he's always picking beef. We call him Shit Stain, Shit Stain. We call him the PM out of his name. We call him Shit Stain, Shit Stain. Whatever he touch must be washed with rain. Thanks to Michelle Andrews who sung the alarm. She informed the entire country that Ralph is a raper man. A habitual rapist with a stellar history. Instead of quick prosecution, they give him a rape rally. They call him Shit Stain. Shit Stain. We calling the PM out of his name. We call him Shit Stain, Shit Stain, Shit Stain, Shit Stain. Whatever he touched must be washed with rain. He went to Grenada with his basket full of tricks. Destroyed the revolution with his nasty lying lips. He whispered to Bernard Cord, this is what he say, the US is going to work with you if you get Morris off the way. They call him Shit Stain, Shit Stain. Whatever he touched must be washed with rain, 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 rain. Shit Stain, Shit Stain, Shit Stain, Shit Stain. We calling the PM out of his name. Now, people. Calvin Bulls says good afternoon. How are you, Calvin Bulls? And is it accepted? Right. Thanks, Calvin. That justice delayed is justice denied, right? So this principle says that if a person does not get a speedy trial, both the accused and the complainant are being denied of justice, right? So very often we see happen is that the justice system is so burdened down with cases that it takes a long time for cases to go through the court system. But what I am going to talk about here has nothing to do with the burdening of the justice system, but it has to do with a blatant intent to cause a miscarriage of justice based on a person's association or their political affiliation. Right? And no one should ever allow something like this to happen in no part of the world. Because when this starts happening, it affects everything about our country. It affects the security of every citizen. It affects even the government's ability to attract foreign investors. Well, you know what I'm talking about, right? I am talking about the Ashel Morgan, Karim Nelson, and the unknown suspect violent attack on Mr. Cornelius John, which happened about 6 to 8 weeks ago. Now, we see that nothing have happened. Mr. John is still waiting for his matter. Something so that she can now prepare to defend her client. The citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Hi, Miss Nanton, how are you doing? Corinne, the citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines are waiting to see if justice is going to be done or if there is going to be a blatant miscarriage of justice in this case. You see, people, everybody has an interest in what is happening in this case, right? Colin John said the matter is still under investigation. Yet, nobody knows who are the investigating officers and who are the officer who is in charge of the investigation, the one who is supervising the investigation. No one knows. So it leaves the community to ask this simple question: is there really an investigation, or they are just lying to the public to save face, right? Because normally the investigator who is involved in a matter, investigating a matter, is not confidential, it's not private, it is public. And very often what we'll find is police organizations all over the world will tell you who is investigating the matter, which agencies, and who is overseeing the investigation. Not so in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We don't know what is happening, right? Mr. John has no one he can call. Mr. John has no one he can call to inquire as to the progress of the investigation in his matter, because he don't know who is investigating the matter. Vincent Colin need to that they are trying to cause a miscarriage of justice by denying Mr. John his day in court to confront his accuser. You see, people, you have to remember, this is a democratic country. We follow democratic principles and rules. We are a nation of laws, and those laws are to be kept and they are to be enforced regardless of who the offenders are. And remember that. So if we are a nation of laws, right? And if we are in a democratic country, and the principles under which our laws are administered and executed follows the democratic process, it means that there must be an investigation, not just an investigation to say we investigate, but a proper investigation, right? There must be a proper investigation into the matter that examine all of the evidence. The investigator must go out and find witnesses that could corroborate Mr. John's story. One of the things that you have to understand with policing is the police is charged with the responsibility of investigating the case of the complainant, right? The police is charged with the responsibility of investigating the case of the complainant, because the complainant is the queen, right? So that is what the police is charged with doing, not investigating the defense case. The police responsibility is working on behalf of the queen, and the queen in St. Vincent's case, right, is every complainant. That is why it is marked Regina versus the defendant name. So the police is not responsible for investigating the defense case. They are responsible for finding and collecting evidence on behalf of the complainant, right? It is the defense lawyer who is responsible for going out there and investigating the case on behalf of the defendants. The police work for the Queen. The complainant is the Queen. The Queen is who's bringing the complaint on behalf of the complainants. That is why police are tasked with investigating the matter on behalf of the complainant. The most important thing that the police have to look in is to see if the allegation that was made were true. Did it actually happen? Right? And if the allegation were true, then it is the police responsibility to go out there and bring all of the evidence for the complainant. He is not responsible for investigating the matter on behalf of the defendant. Right? That is the defense counsel or the defendant's responsibility. Right? The Director of Public Prosecution does not call witnesses on behalf of the defendant. He called witnesses on they're going to caution me and take a statement from me. And they're going to look for people that will support the complainant's story. Right? And normally, a police officer would have at least 5 weeks maximum to complete an investigation. Otherwise, you know what happens? He start losing the off. He stop going on weekend. So there is no reason why this case should be going on to 6 and 7, almost 2 months now. Right? There is no reason. Because in the police, in the Grenadines, police service or force, whatever they have, from the time a matter is reported, the investigating officer has 4 to 5 weeks to complete that case file, to submit that case file. You understand? And not only to complete and to submit the case file, but to effect an arrest on the defendant. It is only, let me tell you something, people. The only cases that goes to the Director of Public Prosecution is a case where there is a matter of law that need to be determined. And the police does not have the training, although he may understands and knows what is supposed to be done. He does not have the training to qualify. A police officer who have investigated a case may find it difficult to determine whether this person should be charged with manslaughter or whether they should be charged with murder. Right? In cases like that, you send it to the DPP because they are responsible for presenting the evidence to the court. They are responsible for reconstructing the case to meet the court's desires. You understand? But in simple, ordinary matters like this, There is no need to send the matter to the DPP. There is no need, because this is a cut and dry case. Let us examine the evidence. Mr. John was in his private home. He has a lawful right to enjoy the peace and the quiet and comfort of his home. Ashel Morgan, Karim Nelson, and an unknown individual went to this man's home. They did not ask permission to enter onto his private property, but they entered. First mistake. They didn't have any lawful reason to be in there, meaning that no part of the law, whether statutes, common law, or crime, give them the authority to be on the to override, just for a period of time, your ability to privacy and to the comfort of your own homes. Ashel Morgan, Karim Nelson did not have any instrument that overrides Mr. John's privacy and his rights to protect his home. Right? Now, what kind of defense they have? How are they going to justify their trespassing? How are they going to justify their trespassing? I'm trying to show you why this case should never be taken to the Director of Public Prosecution. Right? This is a matter that is trivial and should have been decided by the investigating officer. And you may say, but Ashell is a senator. I will show you how easy it is to override that. They think they're smart. They think they don't know what they're doing. They are all idiots. Now, why did they assault him? No justified reason for assaulting him. Why did they shoot him? No justifiable reason for shooting him. If you encroach on a person's private property without permission, it is called trespassing. If you are trespassing on somebody's property and they're getting upset and they want you off, you have one obligation to yourself, one obligation to your safety, and one obligation to the laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is to get your carcass off of his property. Get your backside off the man's property. Right? They didn't do that. But instead, they assault him. And they shot him. This is a serious, violent crime. This is a serious, violent allegation that is made. And it went beyond allegation. Because Mr. John has the gunshot wound to show. Now, people, this is a simple matter that is normally being handled at the station level. No need for the police to involve the Director of Public Prosecution. There is no need for the police to involve the Director of Public Prosecution. Now you may say to yourself, Ashel Morgan is a senator. Yes, she is a senator, but she's not above the law. She should not be given special privileges or special treatment because of her senatorial position. She must be handled and dealt with like every other citizen. Now, one of the things that we take for granted, and because we are one jurisdiction state, meaning we don't have a federal, a city, a county, or a state jurisdiction. We are one jurisdiction state where we have one law, one law enforcement jurisdiction, and one law enforcement authority, right? In St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And because of that, we often take it for granted that we have the right and the authority to run about and arrest a person when they have committed an offense. Right? But what Ashel Morgan's situation brought out is that we have been really taking the laws of the countries for granted. We have been taking people's right for granted. Because the ideal manner in which you effect such an arrest is to go to your local justice of the peace. Go to the magistrate and let him sign an arrest warrant giving you the authority to arrest whose name is listed on that warrant. Whether they're a politician, whether they're a senator, whether they're a prime minister. You have to remember that where the law is concerned, the justice of the peace, as simple as you see them there, they are more powerful than the prime minister where the law is concerned. The justice of the peace in your community has the authority to sign committal warrant to commit people to prison. So for example, all the police needed to do is to prepare an arrest warrant, go either to the magistrate or the justice of the peace or the registrar and get a warrant for her arrest. They don't need to go to the Director of Public Prosecution. They don't need to do that. And I will tell you this, if the Director of Public Prosecution order them to arrest that girl, they should get a warrant for her arrest. A written warrant for her arrest. Because that, I said, not because we are a one jurisdiction state, it does not mean that we must not practice and enforce the law. An arrest warrant that is signed by the Justice of the Peace, his position of Prime Minister cannot override an arrest warrant that was signed by the Justice of the Peace. So there is no reason for the police to investigate Ashell and Karim's case. No, absolutely no reason. Right? That is not their responsibility. That is their defense lawyers' responsibility. That is Karim Nelson and Ashel Morgan to investigate their own case. If they can't hire a private investigator or the lawyer is not equipped to do it, they must go and investigate and get the witness to support whatever case they are going to bring before the court. You understand? It is not the police responsibility to investigate their case. And Ashel Morgan being a senator, Karim Nelson being a DPP, has nothing to do with it. They should be arrested. They can be arrested. And they must be arrested. Because justice denied, justice delayed is simply justice denied. This is something that should have taken place at least a month ago. The investigation should have completed more than a month ago. An arrest warrant should have been issued more than a month ago. Ashel Morgan should have been arrested more than a month ago. Who the third person is. People, the only time a complainant are forced to hire a lawyer is when they are of the opinion that there is going to be a miscarriage of justice and they are going to be the one who is treated. Normally, a complainant is never forced to hire a lawyer. Never. Because the director of public prosecution is that person's lawyer. He is the lawyer of the state. They are responsible for prosecuting cases on behalf of the state, in this case, in behalf of the Queen. You understand? So when you see a complainant feel the need to hire a lawyer, it is because he is of the opinion, he or she are of the opinion that they are going to come up short and the authorities is doing everything in their power to cause a miscarriage of justice. Right? Now from all reports coming out of that incident, Cornelius John would have been kicked in his stomach and he would have been believed to have been in a helpless fetal position when he was shot. People, this is the acts of criminal. You have already have the advantage of youth. This is a 62-year-old man, right? You already have the advantage of youth on your side. You have the advantage of your prestigious government position in the case of Mr. Nelson, the Director of Public Prosecution Assistant, in the case of Morgan, a senator, a decision maker on the highest level of civils in the Grenadines. They already had the fact that they were armed with revolvers, but they already had the advantage that they are armed with firearms. So now they have youth, they have their position, their prestigious lawful position, their firearm. They abused that man while he was in the fetal position, while he was in a state of helplessness, and they shot him while he was in a state of helplessness. You understand? And these people are trying to cause a miscarriage of justice. People, what Shitstain don't understand, right? what Shitstain don't understand is that when you allow things like this to go on, or to go unchecked, it makes the citizens unsure of the execution of the law. When the citizen is unsure, it's not good. It's not good. The government responsibility is to protect its citizens and give them that sense of security where they are able to go about their daily businesses and function with the confidence of knowing that no harm will come to me while I carry out my business. And if harm comes, there is an equitable procedure of dealing with such harm. Natasha saying the whole police department is corrupt. You're right, Natasha. Yes, the commission should be given a press conference to explain what is happening, so that he can guide the community through the process as to what is happening and give them a time frame as to when they can expect some meaningful action on behalf of the victim. You are so right, Natasha Brown. Right? So here we see the commissioner have no reason for sending the case to the Director of Public Prosecution because it is not a complex case. They don't have an issue of law to determine. Ashel Morgan and Karim Nelson should have been arrested, and if you have any question as to whether you have the authority to arrest a sitting senator, right? Go to your Justice of the Peace. Let them sign an arrest warrant and arrest her. Case closed. You see, policing is the simplest thing. But these people who are policing my country do not understand the procedure and the facilities that are available to them for them to use. Go to the magistrate. Lay a complaint before the magistrate and ask him to sign a warrant. You understand? It does not have to be in his office. It does not have to be in open court. You go in the same manner you do with the Justice of the Peace, because you just don't go and tell the Justice of the Peace, sign an arrest warrant or sign a search warrant. You present evidence as to why they should entrust you with the authority to go and violate somebody's rights. You must present some evidence. You understand? Let the magistrate sign a warrant. Let the registrar sign a warrant. Let the Justice of the Peace sign a warrant and arrest the people. And you don't need the Director of Public Prosecution to this. It shows that Colin John really do not understand his job. He do not understand his responsibility as Commissioner of Police. Right? That is not how the police use the office of the Director of Public Prosecution. Let me tell you what they're doing. You see, all those foreign businesses in St. Vincent and the Grenadines who are operating, they are sending the wrong message to them. What they're saying, that anytime they or their businesses go on the wrong side of anyone who is affiliated to the Unity Labour Party, they're going to lose. People like Massey and all of those foreign business, right, will be started reconsidering operating in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You have to remember that before a foreign investor comes to your country to invest in anything at all, whether it's in the hotel industry, whether it's in the manufacturing industry, whether it is in farming, they examine the justice system of the country. And it is based on crime and the justice system of the country. A lot of companies make decisions to invest and to start investment in different countries. It is based on these things. So if you are preparing a country where justice is uncertain, where the execution of the law is based on who are the offenders are, who they are affiliated to, right? You will find that people who would have fallen in love with St. Vincent and the Grenadines, people who think they can invest and make a profit in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, finding other places to go. Because the justice system is not dispensed on an equitable manner. So they'll go somewhere else where they and their staffs can function knowing what to expect when things go wrong. So Shitstain is Prime Minister for so long, and he don't even understand this simple concept. That is why he have been attracting people like David Ames, criminals who are involved in Ponzi schemes and are trying they are willing to pay to play. It is only criminals who behave like that. You understand? So if we are really serious in developing our country, if we are really serious in attracting foreign investors, then the first thing we have to do is we have to lower the crime rate. Secondly, we have to ensure that the law is enforced equitably across the board, regardless of who you are. If we cannot accomplish this and achieve this, when they go and they do the research, investors that is, when investors do their research and they realize that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is a country that does not have a justice system that enforce the law equitable among the citizens and among residents, they will not come to St. Vincent to invest. So you asking yourself, why over the past 20 years we have not attracted any meaningful investors or investment? It's because of things like this. It is because of behaviors like this. Remember, people, this didn't start yesterday. This didn't start yesterday. This didn't start day before yesterday. This started back in 2007, at least on record, where Michelle Andrews was denied her rights to pursue justice against her raper, her alleged raper. She made the allegations and she was denied justice. That these people, when they're going to invest in a country, when they're going to invest millions of dollars in any country of the world that is not their home, they look into the crime situation, they look into the justice system, and to see if the jurisprudence in those countries is conducive for the development of the country and the people and their investment. People, I'm still trying to find out, how is this delay in justice going to affect the jurisprudence of the of St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Remember, St. Vincent and the Grenadines is not in isolation, because we shares the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court and all of its affiliate organizations with the entire Eastern Caribbean. So what happens in St. Vincent and the Grenadines affects the entire Eastern Caribbean. We have to remember that we are a part of the Commonwealth and that we are part of CARICOM. So it will have some form of spill-off. Now what we are seeing here, Prime Minister are forced to shut up under a situation like this. And they are forced to go about the business of CARICOM and the OECS business as business as usual. Like if there is nothing wrong within one of their sisters. Natasha Brown. Okay, you're the last person that mentioned something. Is there anyone that learned anything new here today? Did you know that the simple old man and old woman in the neighborhood who sit in their shops or who sit in their old homes, did you know that they have the authority to sign a committal warrant to commit you to prison in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Yes. The Justice of the Peace, which is an unofficial judge in the community, can commit you to prison. Right? He can also sign anything that the magistrate can do. The Justice of the Peace can do it. He can also sit and presides over matter. But it is not a practice in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But if you go and you read the law that governs him, that governs here their responsibility, it's a serious responsibility. You see them in the shop there, they have a lot of power. Right? They have a lot of power. With a stroke of the pen, the prison superintendent will have to let in anyone that they come into prison. But they must have some evidence for that committal, right? Otherwise, they'll be acting outside of the scope of duty and they will lose their post as Justice of the Peace. People, I encourage you to share this video. Share it on your page, share it on a friend page, share it in a group, share it in a room, and tag someone when you share it. My name is Alan Palmer, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo. He went to Grenada with his dirty bag of tricks, killed the revolution with his nasty lying lips. He whispered to Bernard Code, this is what he say: the Americans going to work with you if you get Maurice out the way. We call him shit stain, shit stain. Whatever he touched must be washed with rain, 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 rain. Shit stain, shit stain, shit stain, shit stain.